Hey, transformational prevention again. Oh my.
I know you love me, that's so comforting. Won't choose, you want me, take my hand and know me better. I know you love me, that's so comforting. Won't choose, you want me, take my hand and know me better. I know you love me, that's so comforting. But we are stuck except you take my hand and know me better. Hey, know me better, love me better. Hey, take me better, love me better.
It's the Transformational Parenteen show with MUTE OLORI.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Transformational Parenting Show, where we dive into topics that matter most to parents, families, and society alike. My name is MUTE OLORI, a leadership, parenting, and family value coach. Today, we're addressing a topic that affects many families around the world, and that is parenting children with ADHD. Yes, and that's Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. This can present unique challenges to both parents and their children, but with the right strategy and support, it is possible to navigate this journey successfully. So, joining me today is a registered nurse, midwife and theologian, a trained parenting and child mentor with over 40 years experience in counseling, training, and mentoring women, youths, and children. Yes, you heard me, 40 years. She has a master's degree in nursing and divinity and is currently on the verge of concluding her doctorate degree. You meet my guest when we come back. Please don't go away.
It's the Transformational Parenteen show with MUTE OLORI.
All right, welcome back. It's still the Transformational Parenting Show. My name is MUTE OLORI, and today we're talking about parenting children with ADHD. And my guest is no other person than IBIENE NYANABO. Thank you very much for joining us, ma'am.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Quite a lot of experience you'll be sharing on the table today, and I'm excited that you're here.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's go straight to the conversation for today. Before we start, would you explain to us exactly what ADHD means and how it impacts children and families?
Thank you very much. ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. We have two important words there. Attention, hyperactivity. Then you have deficit and you have disorder. So what does that suggest? Attention deficit. That means not much of an attention. Then hyperactivity shows a lot of movement and a lot of just doing whatever. Disorder. That means if you expect a child to sit down, the child may just, on the spur of the moment, decides to wake up and start running. And it can be frustrating for parents who do not understand it. And that's why I think it's a very good topic to discuss.
Thank you for coming to talk about it. So let's look at some of the common challenges that parents face raising a child that is ADHD.
The parents actually face problems, starting from the fact that you don't even understand. The first thing the parent needs to know that it is not your cause. You did not cause it. Especially mothers carry the blame, and they think it's their fault. It is not your fault. If it's genetic, it's not just one person, and it could have been down the line, and not you. So if you have that knowing that I did not cause it, then you should not be ashamed. And again, it goes on to what you do with such a child. For example, the child that comes, what are the problems that they have? They're always fidgeting. They're unable to focus on any assignment at any time.
Now, hold that thought there. I'm going to come to that when we look at the different behavior parents can look out for to know if a child has that.
Yes.
But I want to hold you on the causes you talked about.
Yes.
You said there are two, but you explained one. What about the other one that is birth deficiency?
Okay.
What does that mean?
Birth deficiency means, so as the child is coming out through the birth canal, anything can happen. There could be an injury. Okay? Sometimes, if a fetus is on bridge position, for example, that is if the baby is lying, not coming with the head cephalic, and then you try to maneuver, or anything happens, there could be a problem to the mother. But then in cause of that, and the baby is coming out, the mother's pelvis could be smaller than the baby's head. And then if you don't go to a good hospital where they have the facilities and the technicalities to be able to deliver this child properly, you might have a birth injury as the baby arrives on the way, because there are maneuvers through which the baby will pass before the baby can come. People just think that delivery is simple.
Just push and you push and it comes out. No, it's not.
In fact, if you watch a delivery, you will be amazed at God's work. The baby has to now, stretch out. In the abdomen, the baby is coiled up in a fetal position. But for the baby to come out, it stretches out. Then it navigates the pelvic region. Then finally it pops out. So all that, like I said, if the head is bigger than the space, there'll be a problem. There'll be a compression. And if the labor takes a longer time, there might be intervention with instruments, and the baby could also be hurt. And again, sometimes, people deliver places you don't know, and the baby could just drop. Before you know where the baby is already out, and there's an injury. So any of these injuries could actually cause an injury to the brain. And that will now, the baby is incapacitated. Now, whose fault? Would you say the mother's fault? It's not the mother's fault. But then parents could take, a mother would take that as it was my fault. And that's the first thing I want to tell any mother. It is not your fault. It's important.
Thank you very much for affirming that again. At what age would the parents notice that this child has ADHD? And what are the typical childhood behavior and symptoms would parents look out for or observe and begin to worry that this child has this?
Well, I think at the age at which the child starts movements, or the child starts, when you want to get the child's attention, and the child is not giving you that attention that you think, this child, okay, let's smile. You smile at the child, expect the child to smile like, and then you find the child is not focusing. The child is not reaching, even if he does, it's so restless, because restlessness, that's part of it, hyperactivity disorder. And this at that age, so it could start but usually, parents usually notice much more. So when the child is about 1 and you say, sit still, and the child, cannot sit still. 2 days, yesterday, somebody was telling me about a child like that. They'll lock the child up in the car when they go to church because they don't, nobody to take care of the child at home, and then lock with child lock. Before you know it, this child is out running, and you have to be chasing the child. There are 3 basic things that actually shows. One is the attention deficit, the hyperactivity, and impulsiveness. They are so impulsive. They just do anything without thinking. So at the age that you expect a child to do this, and the child is, that you need to get a medical diagnosis.
But are there signs that you see, that doesn't necessarily have to be ADHD. You know why I'm asking that? Because
Yes,
I've had
no.
situation where you describe a particular thing and parents will just see those symptoms and they're alarming. So are there similarity? Are there certain signs that are similar or something that distinct, you know, to children with that disorder?
The distinctive factor now is these three things I told you. The attention. The child is not able to focus. Start one thing and get, you know, doesn't matter how rascal, like now we say this child is very rascal. But you now said, okay, Junior, now finish this food and go to bed. As parents, you tell a child, okay, now be still, finish your food and go to bed. The child finishes the food. Mommy, please, can I stay up? No, go to bed. The child will walk away to bed. But the child with this condition may not obey immediately, not because he does not want to, but because of the problem that he has. And then you expect him to lie down. I tell my children now, you are lying down for 1 hour. 1 hour, I'll come and get you. This one may not even sleep because it's fidgeting. It's going all over, it's moving about.
So before they are one, we should, they should be able to
look out for the
those things.
hyperactivity. The word there is hyperactivity. It doesn't matter how active a child is. They get tired and they sleep, Abby.
Yes.
But these ones have that energy to just keep moving.
What kind of effective parenting strategy should parents have when they observe these symptoms?
Okay. One of the things I look at is for a child who is unable to sit still. So parents have this aptitude to scream at the child and shout at the child. You don't shout at them. To start with. And that's why I emphasize, one, it's not your fault. Secondly, it's not the child's fault. This is a disorder. So you should empathize with this child. It's something that he cannot, it's involuntary.
Exactly.
One, be calm. So when you know it's not your fault, it's not his fault, you are doing your best to help him. So help this child. So when you are talking to this kind of child, your voice must be low. You talk to the child softly. And get the child to look at your face. Look at me. And make sure you're always smiling. Let the child at least absorb some bit of love. Because they also have problems anywhere. Absorb some love, I say. If you are given an instruction, give an instruction. What did I say? Mommy said, go and keep my plates in the kitchen. Did you hear me? Yes. Take your plates to the kitchen. Did you hear me? Did you get that? Yes, I did. Okay, go on and do it. And when the child does that, affirm the child. So that he knows that he has completed a task. Because one of their he has completed a task. Because one of their problems, they are not able to complete task. Doesn't matter. You think it's a small task. For him, it's a big one.
And when we can't get them to do this, if we do the other way, what is the effect? Because you mentioned something like, you said something about always smile.
Yes.
Let them feel loved.
Yes.
And if you do the opposite, they feel you hate them?
They feel you hate them. You feel they are alone. Remember, what part of their problem is loneliness. You know, when it's like a child that is encased in his own body and cannot express, it's like nobody understands me. Especially as they grow up. Nobody,
even my
even
children,
even my parents.
Yes.
If others don't understand him, the parents should be able to understand and know, who is this crazy person? You know the way we talk in Nigeria. I beg, and these persons come, everybody. But then if the parent understands the child, at least I have my mother's backing. So you smile at the child, and then you talk quietly. You don't scream. If you do that, they get scared, and then they become hysterical. And again, it's not as if we have, the statistics says that about 9% of children can actually come over it. About 11% of children can be stable. And I want my child to be one of those 9%. So you have a goal with God. Everything is possible. My child will be okay. So you work towards that goal. Assist the child, help the child to attain that goal.
I'll take a short break. I'll be right back. I hope you're able to process some of the information we've been given today. So keep processing it. I'll be right back. Please don't go away. And when I come back, we'll talk about what kind of diet and lifestyles can we put in place, coupled with this strategy we've been told, to see how this child can be in that 9, if not the 11%. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
It's the Transformational Parenteen show with MUTE OLORI.
Welcome back. It's still the Transformational Parenting Show, and we're talking about parenting children with ADHD. And my guest, like I mentioned earlier, is a certified nurse and, of course, midwife. And she's shared a lot of her experience, you know, making us to understand that the factors responsible for having that kind of disorder of deficient in a child. So let's look at the dietary and, of course, lifestyle. What are there specific diets that these children should take? Are there specific lifestyle they should live that can help them go through, you know, this condition?
Mm-hmm. Yes, there are. I feel that what you can do, at least you try. What we can try to do, make sure the child is always safe. Stay at home. Don't leave. It's not the kind of place you leave sharp instruments around. You don't leave sharp instruments, and don't leave anything that could harm the child, because he may not even think of what he's doing. If you put a glass bottle and it breaks, you can just run across without knowing that that thing is hurting, and it gets hot. And don't leave things around that could actually hurt the child. So protect that child from that view. As the child grows and is always talking, listen to the child, because sometimes they can be very talkative. Give a listen. Give the child attention. Give the child, okay, he wants to say something. Don't say, but you said it before. Oh, look, you're always disturbing. No, you are disturbing me. No. Don't make the child feel unwanted, and don't make the child feel she's a nuisance. As a Christian, I believe strongly in the Holy Spirit and God. And one of the gifts of the Holy Spirit is patience. You have love, peace, joy, patience. You have gentleness, goodness. If you don't think you'll ever need these qualities, you need these qualities now to deal with this child, and he will give it to you.
Let's look at the kind of meals that we should have for these children.
But the kind of meals you should have for this child. For me, at this time in my life, I believe that the best meal is a no-carb meal, no carbohydrates. That's no starch, no sugar, for whoever. Because Usually, see, people don't, they see, you find children, when parents want to make their children happy, they give them sweets. That's sugar. That's sweet. What does it? It spikes their level, their glucose level.
Then
Gives
don't
them
talk about this
get the
child already that
excitabil-
is hyper,
exactly.
you know, already.
Excitability.
Yes.
The child is excited. You see the child now. You know, there was a time we were having a program, you know, in the house. We were bringing up youths. And then we wanted to give them lunch. I think we gave the lunch, and somebody just said, please don't give them their minerals yet. I said, thank God people don't understand this because it has a lot of sugar. And the minute you give that, everybody, there's a lot of disorder. You find them fighting. Why? Because their blood sugar is now spiked. They have so much energy. Adrenaline.
Pumped energy
Exactly. So the adrenaline goes up and you find, so for a child, one thing you must, and I think that that is a key to their management. Besides their drugs, some of them, of course, are on drugs.
Yeah.
And the essence of the drug is to calm them down. So whatever will raise up their blood sugar to make them get more excited, you avoid it.
I seem to find out that the children, it's easy for them to have low self-esteem.
Certainly.
So how can we promote self-esteem and resilience in these children? And of course, maybe their parents also, because, you know, whatever is affecting them is also affecting people's behavior, people's response, you know, is also affecting the parents and the siblings, if there are any, or
Yes.
family members. So how do we promote self-esteem and resilience in families that have
This.
children
Okay.
with this condition?
Promoting that, one is the knowledge you have. That's why we're doing this. You need to have the knowledge. Like I started with the fact that no, it's not your fault. If you know it's not your fault, then say, what now? What is my role in this whole thing as a parent? My role now is to, also the child is growing up, say, talk to the child. As you talk to the child, affirm the child. Like I said, whatever task the child completes, affirm the child. So as you help the child build up self-confidence and affirm the child, to help the child build up a lot of self-confidence. No, Junior, you're in school, they're in school, they cannot complete tasks. Even in school, you find them finishing with trying one assignment and never finishing it. No, Junior, bring your, let's do it together.
Wow.
We'll do it together. And then you help the child. And as the grades improve, because usually they don't do well in school because they're not able to sit down and focus and listen. If it's a place that you have homeschooling, it would be better to have a teacher who understands this child with a special need, or a parent who understands this child with a special needs.
Or a teacher who also
Yes, who understands that special need. Because if you take a teacher, it's a lot of work and you'll be ready to pay. Yes, you'll be ready to pay. Because she could spend all her time on one child. But if she's good and she understands the child will improve.
All right, my final question to you. What advice do you have for parents who are overwhelmed and discouraged right now? Because, like you said, first of all, it's not their fault. Let's accept that. But we're here now, and, you know, you're hearing that this is what it is. What advice do you have for them?
My advice to you, the parents should work together. Both parents should work together. Sometimes you find this brings a lot of disagreements. One is blaming the other. Don't blame any of you. Both parents should work together. Both parents should speak with one voice so that whatever you want, and have a goal. This is our goal. This child will get through this. We will help this child together and find time to rest.
Okay, how do they do that?
Another one is get help. It's not something that one person can do. Get help. Even one parent, get help. It's important. And so that you can rest and be able to rebuild your own strength so that you'll be able to take care of somebody else.
Wow, this is quite a lot, and I think that's the same thing we'd like to say to every family member living with anyone that is parenting a child with this condition. Thank you so much for coming to share with us. Honestly, it's a lot of expertise and insights that you've been able to throw on this topic today. So thank you so much, Ma.
You're welcome.
All right, I
You're
want
very
you to
welcome.
remember that parenting is a journey filled with all ups and downs and curves, and it's okay to seek support. Seek help. It's fine. It's all right, because we all need it along the way. And for us parents who are, parenting children, know that you're not alone. Know that you're not alone. Know that it's not your fault. And know that there are strategies and resources available for you. Pick them up. Read a lot. Learn what it is and see how you can be of value to that child. My name is MUTE OLORI. Please remember to follow us on all our social media platforms. And if you have any question, feel free to reach out to us on transformationalparenting@gmail.com or simply go to Facebook and look out for MUTE OLORI. You are sure and guaranteed that we'll reach out to you. Thank you once again and see you next time. Bye-bye.
I know you love me, that's so comforting. Won't choose, you want me, take my hand and know me better. I know you love me, that's so comforting. But we are stuck except you take my hand and know me better.